I think that the biggest stress is on the states that are surrounding the countries of origin of refugees. So the biggest refugee hosting countries are mostly the countries around the countries that are the source of the refugees, because most refugees tend to stay close to home in the neighbouring countries with the understanding that they want to return home when it's safe to do so, so they often don't want to go too far. There are very few refugees that really seek long-term relocation or attaining refugee status in another country far from their origin. Many do, but most don't. Most want to stay close to home, and most people want to return to their home when they can. So this is putting undue pressure on other states surrounding those, and often these are countries that are also underdeveloped or have their own crises going on and don't have the developed private sector or developed infrastructure processes or even donor support to adequately provide inputs for refugees. Within countries themselves, when you look at the profile of countries where there's internally displaced people, most of those countries find themselves in a situation where there's a net rural-urban movement process. And this is mostly happening in the medium-sized cities. The larger cities are feeling the strain, but the most rapid and unrestrained growth is going on in the medium-sized cities. And they don't have the systems in place, the health system, education system, infrastructure, housing, transport, etc., to cope with large influxes of either refugees or IDPs. So there's a lot of concern and a lot of issues that need attention, certainly at that level. One of the things we've discussed with the students today is really just looking at this absorption calculation. How many people can a city take? And what are the metrics to look at that across a whole lot of metrics of, say, access to affordable housing, affordable rental, adequate health services that can meet the needs of a population within a reasonable time, number of children in a classroom, hours of running water per day, hours of access to electricity per day. I mean, most host communities are welcoming of IDPs and refugees, but there's often a tipping point, and that's dependent upon the duration of the displacement and the disruption caused to existing services, if there is a disruption. So the kind of resilience of the urban systems are really important to try to understand, to see how we can try and work out what number of people can be hosted in cities.